Today, we're talking about screw ups and who among us has never screwed up. Each of our mistakes comes with a lesson. We know that. But do we know how to move beyond and how to move beyond without repeating our same embarrassing and sometimes hurtful mistakes? If you've got something you've totally mucked up and things went sideways, stay tuned for how to make it right. What do you do when your dreams feel unreachable, your reality feels close to unbearable, and no matter how hard you work to shake things up, no matter how much time and effort you put into changing your life, you still feel deeply, painfully, and hopelessly stuck? What you need is alchemy. What is alchemy? Well, it's a process that changes or transforms something in a magical way. You can discover how to create this very practical form of magic in your own life, shifting your energy in a way that dissolves the obstacles in your path to literally bring success to you. My name is Remy, like Do Re Mi, and I'm a best-selling author. Knowing how to unlock this hidden power, how to take back your resilience so you can just move forward, is the battle cry of anyone who's been through one of life's crushing setbacks. Luckily, unlocking your hidden power is easier than it might seem. I have something that I think you'll enjoy, and you can get started with this very practical form of magic right here, right now. Okay, let me jump off the screen here so I can see my laptop. How many times looking back over life have we screwed up? I could probably count 1,000 and beyond. There was a time when I was a teenager and snuck my boyfriend into a house where I was house sitting. Only I got my dates messed up, arrived actually a day early, and tripped their alarm. The entire family got up with all the lights blazing and saw me standing there with a guy that nobody knew. Needless to say, I was never invited back for house sitting. Or I could even tell you about the time I decided to drive my mom's brand new car without permission. I miscalculated a pole and put about a 24-inch dent in the front wheel area, and then, of course, denied the whole thing. She went crazy on the guy at her work's parking garage, and I never could admit that I was the one who did it, and that I'd lied. Teenage years, right? But we also screw up in adulthood so badly sometimes, and we just want to know how to make it right. And can we ever move forward from our colossal mistakes? Because we do want to have success at work, in our relationships, and in life. If you aren't getting the success you want in full abundance, however you identify with success, and if you're wanting to tap into a greater knowingness and align with the higher consciousness of your infinite self, instead of the lower ego thinking that pushes desires away, then this episode is for you. It's time to be unabashedly, unapologetically, happily untethered to ego thinking. It's time to align with our soul's path instead. This episode is for you if you wonder how to make it right after messing up, how to help everyone move forward, and how to get right with ourselves so we can find comfort and solace again. Yes, these episodes are about how to find your hidden power when you want to transform challenges into successes. I like to call it the audacity of alchemy. Because when we're feeling stuck, it's never the situation that has us stuck. It's our energy about it that's become stuck in anxiety, overwhelm, doubts, worries, frustrations, indecision, and even anger. And often this is because of a spiritual injury that we've experienced, some kind of hidden trauma. So it isn't the pain of the situation, it's the pain of not being connected in the natural energy of who we really are, of being connected to that magical part of us that's a creative vibrational being who can use positive energies to create what we want and bring it into physical manifestation. We can allow our manifestations to materialize and not get stuck in the negative vibrations that block them. These positive energies that we talk about so much are where we find the magic of alchemy, because our choice of frequency, our choice of those higher energy thought patterns can change the course of our journey. And today we're talking about how to make it right when things have gone wrong. It happens to all of us. No matter our best intentions, something goes dreadfully wrong. We make a ghastly mistake. We suffer an embarrassing moment, or we get blindsided by our own actions, not realizing a series of events that we put into motion with one misstep. In disbelief, our internal dialogue says, wait, what? And then, no, 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 this can't be happening. And after we come down from the initial shock and the gush of stressful emotions has subsided, we realize that, yep, here we are. We screwed up. And we can't help but wonder, how did I get here? And how will I ever get through to the other side of this to make it right? All of our negative thoughts subside. Well, if our negative thoughts ever subside and we decide it's time to man up or to woman up and make things right, we want some practical advice for how we can just move forward. So I've put together 5 powerful strategies that just might help the next time we do something remarkably stupid or remarkably unthinking, or even just make an innocent mistake. And so here is strategy number 1, to start with your objective. We're so quick to make things right with the other person, but do we consider our own priorities? To truly find the peace to move forward in life, we have to be right within ourselves. And this is part integrity and part knowing what our objective was in the first place. In a situation where we've done something wrong, there might be an underlying value that we stepped on, violated, ignored, or maybe never identified our values in the first place, which was my situation in my teenage years. Let's start with the objective. In a situation where we've done something wrong, what were we trying to accomplish? What was our objective? Well, let's say that we took on a project or a client that we didn't really want to work with in the first place, but maybe we needed the revenue. We've been making stupid mistakes, and as a result, we're making stupid excuses and we're feeling bad all around for all of this. So, rewind back to the beginning and identify the original objective. Was it to make revenue, or was there something deeper? To overcome obstacles, we want to remember our original goal or our original objective. Was that never identified? Then now is the time to take a breather and identify our objectives. If we'll take the time to do this, cleaning up the mess becomes easier because we're more centered in what we really want. And now we can make a cleanup plan based on a viable objective. If we need to make an apology or ask the other person how to make things better, or if we simply need to admit, I don't know what I wanted at the time. I just didn't know. Now there's a new foundation for the other person to participate in moving forward. Okay, strategy number 2, know that there's always a way. When we realize we've made an error in judgment, some kind of mistake, we often start feeling guilty or anxious or worried. And that can escalate to such discomfort that we figure, why bother? Too much time has gone by, or I screwed up too badly. We won't even try to reach out to make things right. We figure it's too far gone and it's too late now. And as much as we didn't want to mess it all up in the first place, we did. And we feel like we've maybe caused too much damage. The truth is, in a strong relationship, in a situation with 2 grown-ups who have moved beyond infancy and immaturity, where we aren't immature cowards, but we're grown-ups now, there are so many ways and opportunities to fix a situation. The possibilities are endless. In fact, you all know this is one of my favorite mantras. I'm open to possibilities even greater than I've imagined. For every way that we've messed up, for every new thing we'd like to try, for every goal we'd like to accomplish, there are endless ways to get there, endless possibilities. Let's not get caught up in overthinking. Just open up a conversation. It really can be that simple. Begin with an apology. That's almost always well received. I even had someone begin a conversation with me one time by saying, "Thank you for helping me grow spiritually into a better person. My life is better because of knowing you." A statement like that is a beautiful thing, and it can erase and purify a lot of damage. You might be surprised. While an apology doesn't always guarantee a fresh start, if the relationship, if the love is real, it can be saved. There's always a way. And if not, the soul contract may have ended, and it's okay to move on. If we've done all we can send them blessings and keep our lives moving forward. And then we can ask, what did I learn? This is very much like the number one strategy that we talked about a minute ago to always know our objective. In asking, what did I learn? There's an opportunity to get more clarity, to set a different objective going forward so we can continue with our spiritual growth. While there's always a way to meet our objective and create what we really want, life is experiential. It may take a few missteps to find that clarity, but that's how it works. And so let's move on now to strategy number 3, change your way of doing things. We can break down the walls after we've disappointed someone by admitting our mistakes, of course. And we might also want to consider changing our way of doing things because whatever we were doing that blew up in our face, it didn't work, right? No matter what the circumstances, we have the power to choose our direction and how we'll use our energy moving forward. We can choose the positive energies like grace and wisdom and inspiration, and we can continue on. And of course, we can choose negative energies and emotions that will continue to tear things down in a destructive way. Either choice is ours to make, and this is what brings about spiritual growth, or it calls in more difficult situations until we finally get it. And I don't know about you, but I don't especially want to go through the same difficult time over and over. That's called a pattern. So I'm more than happy to take a breather to identify my values and my objectives without hiding and without fighting, and find a way to move forward in a better, brighter, deeper, stronger way. And this may require changing my behaviors. We can choose to embrace the miracles and remember that a miracle is simply a shift in perspective. This mistake that we've made has given us an opportunity to shift our perspective, to say, my objective has changed. We can shift our outlook, we can shift our behaviors. Even though it may seem difficult to admit our behaviors were less than ideal, doing so might actually be empowering. As we use practice and discipline to direct our energy into positive new directions, we'll experience fewer difficulties and find a way to attract in the more positive experiences. And I'm all for that. All right, let's move on to strategy number 4. Consider the best possible outcome. In considering the best possible outcome, we're actually calling it in, even if we don't know what it is just yet. And I'm a big fan of aligning with the best possible outcome. And even when we don't know what the best possible outcome is, we can still align with the idea and allow the universe to bring it in. Once we understand that we've messed up and caused someone else's pain, we sometimes begin to mull over how to rectify the situation. But how? And that's almost always the biggest question, or the most common question I get is the how. Well, here's how. Consider the best possible outcomes. Just consider it. Brainstorm a list of possibilities. Do we want the other person to feel better? Do we hope they've somehow become enlightened to something themselves as a result? Do we want to repair the relationship and help it to grow into something even more beautiful than it was? As we look at these possibilities, we can create real world steps to make things better, or open up to a world where we create something new with this person as a co-creator for something new and wonderful moving forward. Even if we don't know what that looks like yet, how cool to have a partner to help create positive experiences on this journey. Okay, and lastly, let's look at strategy number 5, return to the present moment. As we talked about last week, our ego lives in the past. It wants to obsessively replay events, and it wants to stir up every negative emotion possible until it sees us completely unhinged. And we end up creating exactly what we don't want. As long as we see this situation as a problem, well, it continues to be a problem. When we visualize the successful outcome, it will be so. It's universal law. And envisioning this successful outcome is what helps us come back to the present moment and stay out of the past doubts and frustration. It's what we do as creative beings. It's what we do as creators. When we see this as our truth with a capital T, the creation part comes so much easier. We can't do that if we hang out in the past. Simply by stepping back into the present moment, the perceived problem ceases to be our reality. Because remember, problems are illusions that are asking us to change our energy to something more positive and to create from there. We can't create anything but negative if we're hanging out in past regressions. So let's get more clarity about our objectives and what we want to create in life. Let's know that there's always a way through, no matter what's happened. Consider changing your ways and becoming more of the you that you want to be. Consider the best possible outcome. And let's stay in the present, in the truth of who we are as creative vibrational beings who can use these positive energies to create what we want and bring it into physical manifestation. This is our hidden power. We can watch our manifestations materialize and not get stuck in the negative vibrations that block them. Our spiritual journey is to bring in the light, to choose higher frequency thought patterns and positive emotions, because our choice of frequency can change the course of our journey, and it can change the journey for others around us. So, reflecting back on everything we covered today, how can you apply what you've learned? Do you see a way to use just one of these strategies in a situation you're currently facing, or maybe all of them? Well, I hope this helps you as you're using the powers of alchemy to transform challenges and obstacles into positive new successes. But if you still can't get your head around what's got you stuck, you can tell me about it. You can send me a question to questions@unlockyourhiddenpower.com. Or I also have a free guide available for you if you'll simply visit unlockyourhiddenpower.com. Of course, if you're already right here on the podcast page and not listening through iTunes or one of the others, then you'll see it right there for you at the top of the right-hand column. What is this free guide all about? Well, if you've ever thought to yourself, I need to get my life back, or you're just having a hard time that you can't seem to recover from, then you've probably suffered invalidation, abuse, or a spiritual injury somewhere along the way. Knowing how to take back your life so you can just move forward is one of the most common questions I get. Fortunately, finding your way back to you is easier than it might seem. This new guide is the first step in getting out of the sheer frustration of being stuck and spinning your wheels on success that seems elusive. So thanks for joining me today, and I'm wishing you a life filled with all the alchemy you need to bring success to you. Feel free to share this video with anyone you know who's feeling stuck, and don't forget to grab your free guide at unlockyourhiddenpower.com.